Celebrate.
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 Celebrate. Celebrate. Celebrate.
Celebrate national pride.
I am a son of the island, an artist, a nature lover, an enthusiast of the outdoors and of the environment, an adventurer. I love hiking, climbing, swimming, cliff diving, and all of the beautiful scenery that St. Lucia has to offer. My heart beats for the terrain and for the waters of my island, as well as the variety of wildlife which lives here. And in her heritage sites, our creativity gleans inspiration. However, this is also why it can hurt.
Look at the garbage, guys. Nice place, but that's changing quite soon. And
Yeah,
quite
come on,
fast.
Phillip, you're better than this.
We are at Mindoo's battery. What's your bottles? Put any bottles? Come mess. Mal popte, Jean set Lizzie. This is the really bad part, guys. Look at this.
I can't believe it, you know. The fact that we had to leave Meadows Battery and come here simply because people don't know how to take care of the environment. Bro, that just frustrated me. I really couldn't believe it.
You know, I'm thinking, rather than being worked up about the whole situation, you can probably funnel your creativity, funnel your frustration through something creative. Maybe some creative venture that will feature national pride. So we're taking a positive approach to the whole situation.
Ah, I like that, you know. I like that. And in fact, something just came to mind. Yo, that's such a nice idea. We can have, in the same way, right? That many people came together and desecrated the environment. We can go for a few people and show from their different perspectives, their different areas,
professions.
different professions,
Right.
and, you know, fields. And then from each to each his own, each unique perspective can show why we should be proud of our beautiful St.
Right.
Lucia,
That makes
you know?
sense. Yeah, I like that. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, bro, that's a good plan.
Yeah, man.
We should really work on that. And so we worked. After some discussion and development of the idea, we decided on some areas or fields which we would target regarding celebrating our national pride, and then came up with a list of our nation's people who suited those fields. Now, the next step would be to approach those people to see whether they were sold on the idea. We came up with 4 areas and people to match. The list is as follows. For the area of arts and culture, Kentillia Louis. For the area of athletic representation, Makeba Alcide and Michael Bisset. For the area of poetry and theatre, Kendall Hippolyte and his wife, Jane King. For the area of landscape and heritage, Germaine Joseph. And so, our journey began. Alright guys, we're here. Mindoo Phillip Park. Finally, look at the lovely lush grass. We're here to film our first 2 nationals. They'll be representing the athletic representation and sporting part of celebration of national pride. The Makeba Alcide and Michael Bisset, aka Mega Boost. And yeah, they'll basically be telling us about their perspective of celebrating national pride through their athletic representation on a regional and international level. So it's time to go find them.
I think for me, being a national athlete brings a sense of pride to the country in that the event that I do the heptathlon. So it's 7 events, 7 different events, running, jumping, throwing. Those events are similar to the culture of St. Lucia, where we have a melting pot of culture, and I feel like it brings together that as well. So for me, national pride, when I go out there and I represent my country, it's a proud moment for me, for my family, for my friends, but for all St. Lucians, because when I have that St. Lucia on my chest, I'm not just representing myself, but I'm representing the entire nation. I remember in 2016, what stood out for me was the shot put event at the World Indoor Championships, namely because I broke a national record there, so I had that sense of accomplishment for the country because I was representing St. Lucia at that specific time at the World Championships among every nation in the world. But I also finished 8th in the women's pentathlon, and I was the first Caribbean athlete to finish in that event there. So again, across the entire Caribbean, St. Lucia was the top athlete there, and in the world we finished 8th. So it brought a sense of pride, a sense of joy to me that I could have represented my country well.
I feel very proud representing my country in these big races. I must say, spreading our colors along the streets while I run, all these miles. So it's pretty much a great initiative for me, as well as the country and the whole, for us to be out there, showing our colors and portraying what we are, as a nation, and also leaving a legacy behind for the upcoming athletes.
Okay, who am I? That is a layered question. I am first and foremost an artist, a woman, a St. Lucian, an educator, lover of the world. I am someone who appreciates and has a lot of pride in being St. Lucian and being Caribbean, because I understand how unique I am and how I have been formed, how I am essentially a miracle. You have to think back as to, again, how this part of the world or how the Caribbean was created. Remember, this was a forced civilization, forced society, and the majority of us are of African descent. And within all the oppression that these enslaved persons they went through, one of the things that they kept to help them to be grounded was their art forms. They sang, they danced, they created songs, they created drama, and that is what they used to keep their sanity. That is what they used to keep a sense of themselves in relation to everything that was going on around them, that they could not be in control of. They created a new language using elements of their traditional language and the new language they were now forced to be part of. And so when you think of the fact they were able to accomplish all of that, you have to feel a sense of pride in your ancestors that they resisted and they found ways very creatively, innovatively, before these became catchphrases. They did it to make sure that today we understand who we are and we have that blend of all that they went through that has now become this very unique and, as I say, miraculous and beautiful culture and art forms that we create continuously, that we share with the world. And when you think of that, how can it not make you feel proud?
Okay, guys, we're finally here today with Kendall Hippolyte and Jane King, and what they're going to be doing with us today is telling us how theatre as well as poetry tie in with that celebration of national pride of St. Lucia that we're talking about. So, Kendall, take it away.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I mean, I've been a Kendall Hippolyte. I've been a theatre activist for different areas of theatre for quite a long time. And to me, theatre, I've got to be biased here. Theatre, more than any other art form I can think of, has the potential to show all the different aspects of our culture, of our heritage, of ourselves, in a way that can foster national pride, because you can reach back into history, you can reach into present-day St. Lucia, and show us ourselves as we were, as we are. You have an audience that's sitting there looking at themselves, and therefore, to me, you really have a strong strong opportunity for engendering national pride. To me, national pride also involves knowing the not so good things about yourself as well as the good things, because you have to know what you're proud of, you know. And again, I see theater as being ideal for that, because it can reach high, it can reach low, and because it is so true to life, you know. You see what's happening in front of you, and you see, but wait, I saw that same thing happening yesterday. So to me, it's got a really, really strong, immense potential for engendering national pride in us.
Yes, Jane King. I was one of the founder members with Kendall of the Lighthouse Theatre Company. Also, like Kendall, one of St. Lucia's contemporary poets. Now, the importance of poetry to me is that poetry is something that when it works best for me is when I'm saying, yes, okay, so this is, I understand something of myself through this. As for national pride, there are, well, you could start with Derek Walcott. I mean, we can be extremely proud of Derek Walcott, and he set out to document St. Lucia. That's one of the things he wrote about, is that he wanted to paint in poetry every single aspect of St. Lucia, and he did it so beautifully. And I don't know, people ask this all the time, I don't know the answer to this. People ask, are there so many poets in St. Lucia because Derek Walcott was here? I don't know if that's true, but he certainly influenced a lot of us. And I am beginning to feel more and more strongly, both in Kendall's work and mine, and in other poets who are writing in St. Lucia right now, I'm feeling a reach to a younger generation, and people are able to see themselves reflected in the work that is done, the good and the bad. So yeah, I think we can be very proud of the work that St. Lucian poets have contributed to our own society and to the rest of the world, because the rest of the world sees us, they know we're there. Yeah. So I think we can be very, very proud of that.
Yeah, real.
So, using an example of any one of these beautiful heritage sites that we have, how should we celebrate national pride knowing that they're part of our history?
Right. So, Kendall, I think these sites are part of our identity, and they give us some inclination of our history, our cultural heritage, and we should definitely we should definitely celebrate that by being part of it and immersing ourselves in it. It being a recreational area, hiking. I mean, Pigeon Island is one of the best spots in the island for hiking, but it has that cultural twist to it. You know, you find out a little bit more about your heritage. You find out a little bit more about the people who built it, the reason it was built, and its connection to a wider history. And then that sort of puts us into this area where we can appreciate our culture and appreciate what we stand for. And Pigeon Island is just one such site. So Walcott House is another one, for example, where we've got these two amazing writers, poets, playwrights who captured so much of St. Lucia's rich cultural heritage. It's folklore, and it's the beginning of the it was at the beginning of the 1960s, and it's such an important area in our cultural heritage, in our history, that we should celebrate. And yeah, we should definitely have national pride, feel proud about these spaces, and visit them a lot more, and take care of them, you know, hold them close to our hearts, because without these spaces we wouldn't be where we are today. We wouldn't be Germaine Joseph or St. Lucian. We wouldn't be you know, part of this new cultural landscape.
And speaking of taking care of these spaces, yes, we went back. To show a good gesture as well as to be an example, we put in some effort to clean Meadows Battery a bit. Our bag was not enough, but we did do some justice. And in the words of our very own Derek Walcott, either I am a nobody or I am a nation.